Folks need to understand, you got to play the long game.
Got to play the long game.
And, if you're not planning to win, you're planning to lose.
Yeah.
Okay. Self-care is a no-brainer. With what's going on in the world today, self-care, you got to do something for your inner world. What we're talking about is nasal breathing and concentrating on your breath first, and then letting the movement be in the background rather than the movement being in the foreground and the breath in the background. We're asking you to psychologically take on that mental discipline and notice what happens. Like, you're the lab rat. Here's the laboratory. Try this. Little, we got a lot of technology today. Notice how many breaths you're taking on the way to the gym. Go through your routine. And then when you go back to your car, notice how many breaths you're taking per minute after your workout. And you'll see that it's probably half as many breaths per minute based on what you just did in the gym. So one of the invitations that we might have for you is try to get through your workout with the least amount of breaths as possible. Notice what happens. Talk about, and the more you breathe, the more you mouth breathe, the more you dehydrate yourself. You dry out your joints.
I feel my mouth. I feel, just because we're talking, and that's one thing people don't realize is, like, when you're talking a lot, you're mouth breathing. And I feel my mouth right now, like, drying
We're
up.
letting out half of our energy, our CO2, our precious You want to see a great athlete, you want to see a great human being, someone who can manage their CO2. So they can handle high levels of CO2 without the amygdala of the brain firing off into fight-flight protocols, separating themselves from their heart, the great human being that they are. So one of the things that we want to focus on is breath rates and heart rates. No one's dying of muscle cancer. People are dying of organ cancer. Okay. So in other words, you might be 60 years old, but your biological heart is 80 years old because of improper breathing, shallow breathing, upper chest, clavicular breathing. That is not creating health. That's creating disease in the brain and the body, early aging. You're aging faster biologically than your chronological age. We want to reverse all that. If there's one goal we should all have in life, is don't die. And how do we don't die? Well, we keep breathing. And the more you show interest in your breathing, the more you won't be diseased or have a lack of ease that sometimes comes to our mind and body. And we become something that we're not temporarily. So we all have a lot to live for. We have great families, great friends, great relationships. And the goal of life, if there is a goal, is don't die.
Don't die.
And what are things that we're doing that are aiding in disease and having the discipline to evolve your skill sets? In other words, control your breath first and see if there's anything there for you, because we're going to tell you, when you start to control your breath, the dashboard of the mind changes. Everything begins to change energetically, and you become twice as powerful as you thought you were.
Well said right there, Ed.